Hi Pisces, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings, or it is a little bit longer than a week. We're looking at the rest of October, okay? So seeing what's going on for you, any energies that you need to be aware of for the rest of October. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate that. It really does help the channel grow, so thank you all so much. And today I am using the Wing, Hoof and Paw. This is an animal companion oracle. I do also have the Yin Yang oracle, and tying everything together today with the Slavic folklore lenormand. I am doing a little bit of a twist on the Celtic cross layout today, but sort of getting straight on into it for you Pisces. I'm going to start off with your main energy, bit of an overview for you for what's going on this week for the end of October. Pisces, main energy for Pisces this week. What does Pisces need to know right now? Okay. And then I'll just pull all the cards out now, Pisces, and then we'll go through that with you. Okay, the supporting energy for Pisces, the main energy for Pisces this week. What does Pisces need to be aware of? Okay, and then we're going to look at, the energy around you as well, Pisces. So firstly, the external influences around Pisces, the challenges or obstacles you might be facing this week, the advice for your week, all right, and also the outcomes for the week for you. Okay, so looking pretty good here, Pisces. I do feel as though this may be one of those weeks where, the messages that are coming through are kind of, nothing huge and dramatic is going on. So it's going to show us, the next big energy for you. The main energy we see for you here is the penguin, okay, which is about adapting, all right, adapting. So having to, change to suit a situation as it changes, and adapt to change this week in some kind of a way, kind of on the fly. It's sort of telling me there that things may change very quickly, and you're having to, because the penguin adapts from waddling around on the snow to diving around in the water and things like that, and it does need to adapt sometimes to warmer climates, and what does it do then, and all that sort of stuff as well. Okay, the supporting energy we have here, we have the flowers, the bouquet coming through first, followed by the masculine energy, Pisces. So this does let us know that the more that you're giving to the idea of change, and the more that you're giving, to adapting very quickly to things, the more that things are going to, work well for you this week. The flowers really is about giving time, love, energy to things, and then you will receive back. But you're doing so in a very logical, rational kind of way. You're kind of taking control of the situation by allowing yourself to adapt very quickly to the changes that are occurring around you this week, and sort of giving your time and energy to consciously adapt to whatever's going on for you this week. I do feel as though for a lot of you, it's kind of talking about, the flowers can also talk about kindness as well. So, that sort of positive energy where flattery gets you everywhere kind of energy with the flowers, that you're giving someone some compliments, and it really actually changes the trajectory. That's actually a logical decision for you this week, to flatter people and compliment your way into success this week. It is coming through there as well, that the kinder you treat a situation or a person in a situation, the more that positive energy is going to come back towards you as well, Pisces. Especially with, the external influences this week, we have the letter. Okay, so communication and expression is the external influence. So it's things being told to you, things being expressed to you, that you're having to quickly adapt to other people's ideas and opinions. All right, and someone maybe expressing themselves like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that, let's try something else, and you're having to adapt to other people's ideas very, very quickly. this week, and you know, or someone saying, oh, I've got this extra information, and then you're having to adapt the situation, you know, taking that into consideration and things like that. For some of you, it may be paperwork. All right, there might be an external influence of paperwork in some way that is making you having to adapt to these changes. They may be coming through in the form of, you know, getting a letter that this is changing, or this is, you need to adapt to this. You know, I'm hearing payment schedule for some of you there, but the challenge, obstacles that you might be facing this week, we have the Tower. Okay, so you are being challenged by, you know, feeling kind of isolated, left, you know, left to your own devices a little bit here. But also, this is like very regimented governmental type energy as well here. So especially for those of you where that's paperwork as an external influence, that may be some sort of, you know, it gives very much governmental, parliamental, you know, banking institutions, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you may be having to take something on board there and adapt or change or be a bit more flexible with something happening on that front there as well, and that's a bit of a challenge, but you're very you know, embracing this energy this week in a very logical, rational way. It feels like with the logical, rational side there with the masculine, it's kind of a bit like, well, I can't do anything about it, so what's the best way I can take control of this situation and adapt to this situation and make it work for me one way or another. All right, especially too with your advice being the Fox. All right, so the Fox is like a bit of a businessman as well, a bit of a, you know, like does whatever needs to be done, you know, says what needs to be said, especially when it comes to, you know, I do feel for a lot of you this may be to do with some sort of monetary changes, or it's kind of giving like, you know, oh, your contract has changed, you know, your mortgage repayments have changed. It's giving those kind of energies with that Tower crossing your energy there with the challenges. So it's giving those sorts of things where you're having to adapt to, you know, a new payment plan and things like that. So the Fox is someone who does the wheeling and the dealing, and, you know, gets the best out of the situation for themselves. You know, very selfish kind of energy, which is actually a good thing for you this week. So don't worry, don't be fearful that you're being selfish or doing things only taking yourself into consideration, because that's actually where you need to be this week. You're really sort of doing what needs to be done one way or another. You know, but doing it in a very logical, intelligent way, the way that's going to suit you best. You know, which the outcome for you, we have the Heart. Okay, so you know that as an outcome is actually really positive, because the Heart is all about love, and it's about unconditional love, and it's about, you know, showing that you're willing to do what needs to be done. You're willing to adapt to changes in order to, you know, make sure everyone is happy, and even though you're kind of looking out for yourself, it works out in a very loving kind of a way that you move towards this outcome of love energy. So things work out for you because you're, you know, giving your best, and you're giving this very intelligent thought and rational thinking as well, and adapting to what needs to be done. So it does sort of encompass the Heart space for you at the end of the month here. So you do move forward into November in very sort of love-based energy, which is very positive energy for you there. It's kind of, you know, getting through the rest of the month in a very rational, logical thought process kind of way. It actually enables you to start the next month, you know, in that Heart space. So, which is obviously where we do try to come from. Well, a lot of us try to come from that Heart space more so than the thought space. But it's just sort of knuckling down, getting a few things, you know, finalized and sorted out, and adapting to the changes that are going on around the end of the month here, and you know, moving forward in a much more peaceful, harmonized kind of a way into November. Okay, but looking at the extra messages for you, extra messages for Pisces. Anything else Pisces needs to be aware of, please? Okay, so we do see here, we have the Guilt Sabotage card, but don't stress about that too much, Pisces, because we also have the Healing the Inner Child card. coming out straight after that. So we're healing from some guilt, some sabotage, self-sabotage, I feel, for a lot of you. That inner child that you have, feeling as though you haven't allowed yourself to be as free in the past as you maybe have wanted to. Pardon me. So just a little bit of residual guilt. For some of you, it's from childhood. For some of you, it's more to do with that inner sense of expression and freedom, and not being able to be as expressive and free as you maybe have wanted. You're just sort of removing the last little remnants of guilt and healing those little things within yourself. You're moving forward in a much more positive way for yourself in the future by the seams of that there. We also have the Ace of Air coming through, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So for a lot of you, some of this guilt energy may be specifically related to Gemini, Libra, or Aquarians energy. But even if it's not related to them specifically, it's that, once again, that freedom, that guilt that I've been so adrift with the wind, and I've kind of been a bit spacey, or whatever that sort of energy is for you. That can come from that inner child healing as well. So you've got a bit of self-sabotage there. You may have been a little bit, you're sort of feeling a bit like an airhead, a bit spacey, a bit adrift, not knowing clear direction for yourself and things like that. So you're healing from that as well here. So it may have specifically to do with that for a lot of you as well. Anything else Pisces needs to be aware of? Anything else that Pisces needs to be aware of for the end of October? Yeah, just removing those burdens and starting to move towards more positive changes for yourself here. So we have the cross coming through first. So that's, where we hold a lot of responsibility and those burdens that we carry. But you're kind of, removing those and no longer choosing to carry those anymore, and you're moving forward, having a lot more faith and optimism, especially here with the stars coming through as well. So quite interesting. The stars is actually Aquarius air energy as well. So there may be something for you there to do with an Aquarian for a lot of you. But we do see you sort of shooting for the stars in a different kind of a way, trying to, remove any burdens and that guilt, once again, healing from that, and having a little bit more faith in yourself and a little bit more hope and optimism that you are going to reach your goals, and that you do have goals, and that they're within reach for you here. We also have the snake as well, which I just feel like that's talking about, your passion and desire to actually, create new goals for yourself and move forward, in a more passionate way, just for yourself there. For some of you, there is just a bit of a physical fling coming through with that as well, that some of you may be having a bit of a physical intimacy in the last week or so of October here. That might just sort of be a little short-term fling kind of energy for someone there too. It could also talk about Scorpios as well. That is the Scorpio energy. But I feel as though it's not really coming through in the negative sense at all. If anything, it may just be, lifting those illusions, because you're removing the burdens and the responsibilities that you've been carrying. It's kind of removing the rose-tinted glasses for you a little bit there as well, so that you can see your dreams just a little bit more clearly, and work out exactly where you're trying to go here when it comes to your dreams, your wishes, your goals that you're trying to achieve here. So I do feel as though November is going to be a really good month for you guys. But I suppose we'll see when we get to that energy. So keep your eye out on next week's readings, where we will be starting to sort of delve into November's energy a little bit more. But for the end of October, just sort of tying up some loose strings by the looks of that, Pisces. But you're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. And I'll see you all again soon.